Accounting standard 6 depreciation accounting. The accounting standard include paragraphs set in bold italic type and plain type which have equal authority. Paragraph in bold italic type indicates the main principle. This accounting standard should be read in context of reference to the statements of accounting standard and the applicability of accounting standards to various entities. Introduction. This standard deals with depreciation accounting and applies to all depreciable assets except the following items which, to which special considerations apply: forest, plantation, and similar regenerative natural resources, wasting assets, including expenditure on the exploration or and extraction of minerals, oils, natural gas, and similar non-regenerative resources, expenditure on research and development, goodwill, and other intangible assets, livestock. The standard also does not apply to land useless unless it has limited useful life for the enterprise. Different accounting policies for depreciation are adopted by different enterprises. Disclosure of accounting policies for depreciation followed by an enterprise is necessary to appreciate the view presented in the financial statements of the enterprise. Definition. The following terms are used in the standards with the meaning specified. Depreciation is a measure of the wearing out, consumption, and other loss of value of a depreciable asset arising from use, effluence of time, or obsolescence through technology and market changes. Depreciation is allocated so as to charge a fair proportion of the depreciable amount in which amount accounting period during the expected useful life of asset. Depreciation includes amortization of assets whose useful life is predetermined. Depreciable assets are assets which are expected to be used during more than one accounting period and have a limited useful life. And revised in 1994, attention is specially drawn to paragraph 4.3 of preface accounting, to which accounting standards are intend to apply only on those materials which are material are held by an enterprise for use in production or supply of goods and services, for retail, rental to others, and for administrative purposes, and not for the purpose for sale in the ordinary course of business. Useful life is either the period over which a depreciable asset is expected to be used by the enterprise, or the number of production or similar units expected to be obtained from the use of asset by the enterprise. Depreciable amount of a depreciable asset is historical cost, and historical cost or other amount substituted for historical cost in financial statements unless the estimated residual value. Explanation. Depreciation has a significant effect in determining and presenting the financial position and results of operation of an enterprise. Depreciation is charged in each accounting period by reference to the extent of the depreciable amount, irrespective of an increase in market value of the assets. Assessment of depreciation and the amount to be charged in respect thereof in an accounting period is usually based on following three factors: historical cost and other amount substituted from historical cost and depreciable asset when the asset has been revalued, expected useful life of depreciable asset, and estimated residual life of depreciable asset. Historical cost of a depreciable asset represents its money outlay or its equivalent in connection with acquisition, installation, and commissioning, as well as for addition to or improvement thereof. The historical cost of a depreciable asset may undergo subsequent changes arising as a result of increase or decrease in long-term liabilities on account of exchange fluctuations, price adjustments, changes in duty, or similar factors. The useful life of a depreciable asset is shorter than its physical life and is predetermined by legal and contractual limits such as expiry date and related leases, LESES leases, directly governed by extraction or consumption, dependent on the extent of use and physical deterioration and the account of wear and tear, which again depends on operational factors such as the number of ships for which the asset is to be used, repair and maintenance policy of the enterprise, and reduced by obligations arising from such factors as technological changes, improvement in production methods, changes in market demand for the product or service output of the asset, or legal or other restrictions. Determination of useful life of depreciable asset is a matter of estimation and is normally based on various factors including experience with similar types of assets. Such estimation is more. This standard is not dealt with the treatment of revaluation difference which may arise when historical costs are substituted by revaluations. Difficult for an asset using new technology or used in the production of new product or in the provision of new service, but is nevertheless required for some reasonable basis. Any addition or extension to an arising asset which is of a capital nature and which becomes a integral part of the existing asset is depreciated over the remaining useful life of that asset. As a practical measure, however, depreciation is sometimes provided on such addition or extension at the rate which is applied to an existing asset. Any addition or extension which retains a separate identity and is capable of being used after the existing asset is disposed of is depreciated independently 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 on the basis of the estimation of useful life. Determination of residual value of an asset is normally a difficult matter. If such value is considered as insignificant, it is normally regarded as nil. On the contrary, if the residual value is likely to be significant, it is estimated at the time of acquisition, installation, or at the time of subsequent revaluation of the asset. One of the bases of determining the residual value would be realizable value of similar assets which have reached the end of useful life and have operated under the conditions similar to those in which asset will be used. The quantum of depreciation is provided in accounting period involves the exercise of judgment by management in the light of technical, commercial, accounting and legal requirement, and accordingly may need periodic review. If it is considered to be original estimate of useful life of an asset requires any revision, the amortized depreciable amount of which asset is charged or to revenue or other for revenue over the revised remaining useful life. There are several methods of allocating depreciation over the useful life of the asset. Those most commonly employed in industrial and commercial enterprise are the straight line method and the reducing balance method. The management of business selects the most appropriate methods based on various important factors, for example, type of asset, the nature of use the nature of the use of such assets and the circumstances prevailing in the business. A combination of more than one method is sometimes used in respect of depreciable assets which do not have material value. Depreciation is often allocated fully in the accounting period in which they are acquired. The statute governing an enterprise may provide the basis of computation of depreciation. For example, the Companies Act 1956 lays down the rates of depreciation in respect of various assets, where the management estimate of the useful life of asset of enterprise is shorter than that in in faced under the provisions of the relevant statute. The depreciation provision is appropriately computed by applying at a higher rate if the management estimate of useful life of asset is longer than that NBIS is envisaged under the statute. Depreciation rate lower than that envisaged by the statute can be applied only in accordance with requirement of the statute. Where depreciable assets are disposed of, discarded, demobilized or destroyed, the net surplus or deficiency if material is disclosed separately. The method of depreciation is applied consistently to provide comparability of the results of operation of the enterprise from period to period. Any change from method of providing depreciation to another is made only if adoption of new method is required by statute for compliance with an accounting standard, or if it is considered that the change would result in a more appropriate presentation or preparation or presentation of financial statements of the enterprise. When such a change in the method of depreciation is made, depreciation is recalculated in accordance with the new method from the date of the asset coming into use. The deficiency of surplus arising from retrospective recomputation of depreciation in accordance with new method is adjusted to the account in the year in which method of depreciation is changed. In case the change in method results in deficiency of depreciation in respect of past years, the deficiency is charged in the statement of profit and loss. In case the change in the method results in surplus, the surplus is credited to the statement of profit and loss. Such changes is treated as change in accounting policy and its effect is quantified and disclosed. When the historical cost of an asset has undergone change due to the circumstances specified in para 6 above, the depreciation on revised unamortized depreciable amount is provided prospectively over the residual useful life of the asset. Disclosure: the depreciation method used the total depreciation for the period for each class of assets. The gross amount of each class of depreciable asset and related accumulated depreciation are disclosed in the financial statement along with the disclosure and other accounting policies. The depreciation rate or the useful life of the asset are disclosed only if they are different from the principal rate which is specified in the statute governing the enterprise. In case the depreciable assets are revalued, the provision of depreciation is based on the revalued amount of the estimate and the remaining useful life of such assets. In case the revaluation has a material effect on the amount of depreciation, the same is disclosed separately in the year in which revaluation is carried out. A change in the method of depreciation is treated as change in the accounting policy and is disclosed accordingly. The depreciable amount of the depreciable asset should be allocated on systematic basis to each accounting period during the useful life of the asset. The depreciation method selected should be applied consistently from period to period. A change from one method of providing depreciation to another method should be made only if the adoption of new method is required by statute or for compliance with the accounting standard, or it is considered that change would result in more appropriate preparation or presentation of financial statements of the enterprise. When such when such a change in the method of depreciation is made, depreciation should be recalculated in accordance with the new method from the date of the asset coming into use. The deficiency or surplus arising from retrospective recomputation of depreciation in accordance with new method should be adjusted in accounts in the year in which method of depreciation is changed. In case change in the method results in deficiency of depreciation in respect of past year, the deficiency should be charged in the statement of profit and loss. In case change in the method results in surplus, the surplus should be credited to the statement of profit and loss. Such a change should be treated as change in accounting policy, and its effect should be quantified and disclosed. The useful life of depreciable assets should be estimated after considering the following factors: expected physical wear and tear, obsolescence, legal and other limits of the use of assets. A useful life of major depreciable assets or classes of depreciable assets may be reviewed predominantly where there is revision in estimated useful life of an asset. The unamortized depreciable amount should be charged over the revised remaining useful life. Any addition or extension in which becomes an integral part of existing assets should be depreciated over a remaining useful life of that asset. The depreciation of such addition or extension may also be provided at the rate applied to the existing asset. When an addition or extension retains a separate identity is capable of being used after the existing asset is disposed of, depreciation should be provided independently on the basis of an estimate of its own useful life. When the historical cost of a depreciable asset has undergone a change due to increase or decrease in long-term liability on account of exchange fluctuations, price adjustment, changes in duties or similar factors, the depreciation on the revised unamortized depreciable amount should be provided prospectively over residual useful life of the asset. When depreciable asset is revalued, the provision for depreciation should be based on revalued amount of the estimate of remaining useful life of such asset. In case the revaluation has a material effect on the amount of depreciation, the same should be disclosed separately in the year in which revaluation is carried out. If any depreciable asset is disposed of, discarded, demonetized, or destroyed, the net surplus or deficiency, if material, should be disclosed separately. The following information should be disclosed in the financial statement: the historical cost or other amounts substituted as for historical cost of each class of depreciable asset, the total depreciation for the period for each class of asset, and related accumulated depreciation. The following information should also be disclosed in financial statement along with the other disclosures of other accounting policies: depreciation method used, depreciation rate, or the useful life of assets if they are different from the principal rate specified in the statute governing enterprise.